gonna set these aside for a sec because I want to show you guys what else was in the box, because this is what got me real excited, and there's something real special in here. Hey everybody, it's David from Red Wagon Dioramas. I've got a fun story to share with you this week. One of my favorite things to do when I have some free time on the weekends is to go yard sailing. Just going out, looking through people's yard sales, see if I can find any treasures. I also like to go to flea markets, antique malls, the places like that. You've seen some of my videos on that. I love to find a good deal, especially if it's a Star Wars item. And especially if it's something unique, something that I don't have in my collection already. And what makes something even more special is when you don't even realize what you picked up and you find later when you get back home what it was that you actually got. And that's the kind of story this is this week, guys. So before I get into it, I do want to give a shout out to Eric at the Emporium in Easton, Massachusetts. That's where I found this cool item I'm going to share with you. Now, during the summer season, Eric likes to have these special sidewalk sales. He calls them the Rowdy's Flea Market on Sunday mornings in the parking lot outside his store. The store is closed, but he brings out a bunch of bins of kind of like miscellaneous oddball items that aren't selling in the store, and he just tries to clearance stuff out, for cheap prices. And then he usually invites a handful of other friends of the shop. There's like 3 to 5, 6 other vendors who have tables, set up and just selling miscellaneous toys, action figures, video games, collectibles, stuff like that. It's a fun time every time I go because everybody's very community oriented. You're always saying hi to folks, and everybody's kind of hunting through for what treasures might be there that week because the stock is always rotating. So how the story goes is that basically my son and I were at the flea market 2 weeks ago, Sunday morning, and I picked up something that was kind of interesting, and I didn't even know what it was. And this is what I picked up. Inside the box were these 2 shiny boxes, like flat. See that? Shiny aluminum boxes. It said Star Wars on the top. It says Episode 1 right there. I know it's hard to read, but that's Padme's Queen Amidala's starship there, and it says Episode 1 on it. I'm like, okay, it's Star Wars, it's flat, it's probably some kind of like artwork or something, which it is. And so I just pulled it out and I opened it up, and there's 2 of them, they're identical. They're pretty beat up too, So anyway, I pulled these out. Eric, the owner's right near me. I was like, Eric, what are these? And he's like, I don't know, some Star Wars stuff somebody brought in. I don't really know what it is. I'm like, okay. And so I opened the first one. There's some paperwork in there. It says Phantom Menace Portfolio, Doug Chiang, May 1999, but it's empty. I was like, oh, okay, so this was like some promotional thing, artwork or something from Phantom Menace in '99 when it came out. Never seen this before, never heard of it. And then I opened up the second one. This one's all beat up, even worse. I opened that up, and there's stuff in here. There's all kinds of like Star Wars paperwork and like pictures and stuff, and I don't know, like cards and then I could see there was something bigger behind it, so I flipped behind there, and I pulled out these. I'm just going to show you guys real quick. Look at this. It's like concept art from Phantom Menace. It's like, oh, that's kind of cool. So I just basically could kind of flip through these really quick. Didn't even pull it apart. I was, because there's tons of people there and everything, and I had my arms filled with some other stuff. But I got enough, basically knew enough that this was some kind of promotional package for Phantom Menace with some cool concept art, and I kind of like stuff like that. So I thought, I don't know, give it a shot. So I asked Eric, like, hey, what do you want? Would you take $10 for it? And he's like, yeah, sure, just got to move it along. So I'm like, all right. So I paid him for that and the other action figures and the comics and other stuff we got, and went home. But I was very curious to learn more about this because you find something like this, it's obviously unique. It had a very special packaging to it when it came out, so maybe it was expensive. I don't know. I really had no idea the value of this. I did want to find the value just for my own curiosity, but also to make sure my $10 wasn't ill spent. So I basically got online and just started looking up the artwork and looking up this box set and everything else that was in here. So that's what this video is about, guys. I'm just going to show you what was in this kind of mixed lot of artwork and paperwork, because there's a couple cool things in here, especially one real special thing for me. So I'm going to switch the camera up here to the tabletop, and I'll show you everything that's in here. All right, guys, so here's a look at this very shiny aluminum box. There's nothing on the bottom. The top has this logo up here. That's it. Now, this is very dirty, very beat up, been stored for 20-something years. But you can see how it says Episode 1 there on the top. If I can get the angle right. You You see Padme's starship there, and then the signature Doug Chiang. I feel bad, but I had to honestly Google who Doug Chiang was, and of course, immediately I knew who he was. He's the design director for Lucasfilm. He was just at San Diego Comic-Con 2 weeks ago with the panel with George Lucas. That famous panel with him and Guillermo del Toro, and talking about Lucas's new museum. So he was the art director on Episode 1 and Episode 2, and involved in a bunch of other movies, and then all the way up to like The Mandalorian and Rogue One. He worked on all those movies too. He's still I think one of the chief art design guys there at Lucasfilm. Now, of course, I didn't know who he was at all or what this was when I picked it up, which was kind of the fun of this. But anyway, you open this up, and this one is really beat up, and inside here are some glossy printed images of concept art from Phantom Menace. Now, this is incomplete, unfortunately. Well, I'll just flip through these real quick to show you what I've got. So we've got these, the Gungan guys. We've got the Trade Federation arriving in Naboo. Got a shot of Coruscant. And then this is cool. You got the battle droids on their Stap speeders there, going through the forests of Naboo. You got the drop ship. Cool image, right? It looks like the movie was taken straight out of this artwork. I found out through research that, the artwork was done totally before George had shared much of the story with him. So it was fairly, kind of cool that so much of this artwork made it right into the film. Like this is a cool one. This is the scene, right at the beginning of the movie where Anakin's confronting the destroyer droids for the first time. You can see the design's a little bit different, but it's pretty close. And of course, Anakin looks completely different, the outfit there, if you look at that. Do you see the lightsaber through the door there? That's pretty cool. So yeah, this is just kind of a little write-up. It says Introduction by Doug Chiang, The Phantom Menace Portfolio, Episode 1. Talks about in 1995 he was hired by George Lucas, and he came up with all these paintings and creative ideas. This last paragraph right here, it says, in creating these paintings, I aspired to live up to all the previous Star Wars artists and designers, particularly Ralph McQuarrie and Joe Johnston. Seeing their art when I was 15 years old inspired me to draw and paint. Their artistry has served as a model ever since, and I sincerely hope that I have been faithful to the fans as well. I'm truly honored to have the opportunity to contribute to the Star Wars legacy. So this was a big deal for him. I mean, he was a Star Wars fan as a kid, and now he's working with George Lucas doing the artwork for the first movie to come back after Return of the Jedi. So that must have been really cool to be involved with this. And I'm sure this was a real special set for them to put out when it was released with the movie in '99. I'm going to set these aside for a sec because I want to show you guys what else was in the box, because this is what got me real excited, and there's something real special in here. First of all, there's a set of, I guess these are character cards for the game. On the back it's Star Wars Missions, and it says 1997 Lucasfilm. I've run into some material from this game, but I wasn't collecting Star Wars during those years, and I really don't know anything about this game. But each one is a character card, and I don't know if these are collectible or anything, or there's probably millions of these out there, but they're still kind of cool. They're nice images. You got Biggs, you got Wedge, Dengar, Lobot. Now, for some reason, that's an illustration instead of a photo. I don't know why. You got General Dodonna. You got Mon Mothma. That's pretty cool. With her resurrection of popularity through Andor, it's kind of cool getting this. Then you got Lando and a C-3PO, and that's it. Yeah, so those are the cards that were in here. Again, these don't really do anything for me, but they're kind of fun to look at. Maybe there's people out there that collect these. I really don't know. Then there was a group of these smaller cards, like trading card size, and I had to look these up too because I wasn't familiar with them, but they all have an image of a clone on the back, and it says Fan Days. I don't know if you guys can see that. It says Fan Days 2011 autograph card by Official Picks. So these were officially licensed character cards for the Fan Days event in 2011. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cards here. And what's interesting is it doesn't have the character name, it has the actor name. So Veronica Segura, Ben Burt, Catherine Tabor, John Berg. I had to look him up. Apparently he was one of the stop motion guys in Empire Strikes Back for the AT-ATs. That's pretty cool. There's Billy D. Williams again. You got a Stormtrooper. And then George Takei's character from Clone Wars. And then a Peter Mayhew card, which is kind of cool with an animated Chewbacca. So again, these are kind of fun. Unfortunately, none of them are autographed. I was really hoping maybe these are autographed, but they weren't. But still sort of a neat piece of Star Wars history. I imagine that, if you attended that, you had the option of buying these, at the merch table or whatever at the event. All right, then you get into some cool 8x10 artwork here. See, there's a group of these that are from Celebration 6. These are officially licensed Lucasfilm 8x10 autograph cards. So you can see that they're by Official Picks, Celebration 6, 2012. Now, I'm not sure where that was held. You guys tell me. I wasn't collecting Star Wars at the time. Yeah, Amy Allen. I did get to meet her at ICC Con, actually. That was pretty cool. That's a nice shot. So I imagine these were for autographs, I think. Qui-Gon and Anakin there. Sassy Tin. Well, then there's some Clone Wars ones. You got the Techno Union guy. You've got a Yoda on here. This one's cool. You got the young Boba Fett. So I imagine Daniel Logan would sign this if he was at the convention. Animated 3PO and R2. Dooku and that monkey lizard. And then EV-99. And then you get into some really cool ones here. This is neat. This is stuff I like, the movie production. I had to look him up. I'm sorry I didn't know who he was, but that's Ben Burtt. He did the sound design on Star Wars. He apparently developed some of the iconic like R2-D2 noises and the hum of the lightsaber and a lot of the other, like Darth Vader's breathing, I think. So this guy is responsible for so much of the sound design, so that's pretty cool. This was a real neat one, a black and white image of a bunch of the Cantina aliens. Take a look at that. It's really cool. And I guess I had to look this guy up too. So Nick Maley, that's him right there. I guess he was a makeup artist who got involved, doing all the Cantina aliens. But then he also worked on Yoda and other creature effects like the Tauntaun and other stuff in Empire. So that's pretty cool. Here's that one of an 8x10 of John Berg again stop motion on the AT-AT. This one's cool. You guys know I'm a fan of the Sandcrawler. And this is Lauren Peterson doing some, looks like some touch-up weathering of the Sandcrawler there for the shot. That's really cool. I'd like to meet him someday. I bet he has some great stories. Another one of this guy, Nick Maley again. That's one of the Yoda puppets he's working on there. Isn't that cool? And then this guy, I didn't know who he was. Apparently Robert Watts was the producer, or one of the producers for Empire Strikes Back. And he was kind of famously photographed with the Wampa arm, and so I guess his thing is he goes around signing, autographing pictures of himself with the Wampa. So anyway, that was a new one for me. See, I learned some things going through these. But anyway, so those are cool. 8x10s, I don't know, there's about 20 of them there. Let me know, guys, if you were at Celebration 6, were these like part of the ticket? Like you got them if you attended, or was this an extra like you had to buy? Did they come in a bigger set, or were they like in individual purchases? Just curious. Anyway, I'm gonna set those guys aside. Then there's a couple cool things here. This is where it's totally like fan stuff in here. This next group are like printed out with an inkjet printer, or maybe at Kinko's or Staples or something, because they're all on like glossy photo paper. So you got an image of 3PO, you've got an image of the Darth Vader TIE fighter. And then, these ones, these are just stills from the movie. Like a fan wanted some pictures of Star Wars on his wall, so he just printed out some different still shots. That's classic. The Bespin duel there. Look at this one. Wow. There's Anakin all burnt. Pretty cool. And then, for some reason, this is even larger size. This is a 9x10. Emperor and Vader with the sabers drawn. That's pretty cool. Unfortunately, just printed out on Kodak paper. Same thing with this one, this shot of Vader and Leia. Again, kind of iconic scene. So it's pretty cool. Just these still images that are printed out. Then you get into some fun stuff here. You saw that image of Anthony Daniels. I tried to Google this. I found this image online. Rebel Force Radio has a blog out there talking about some images recovered by this guy, Christopher Corey Smith, who used to live or work somewhere near ILM when they were making the movies, and he would the story I read is he was dumpster diving, and he basically recovered a bunch of thrown away stuff from ILM's days of making Star Wars. Now again, these are just printed out on Kodak photo paper, so I don't know if he downloaded them and printed them, but there's the AT-AT model there. It's pretty cool. Star Destroyer. And then a shot of the Falcon going through the asteroids. I couldn't find these pictures anywhere online, So I don't know if you guys have seen these before, these particular images. Let me know if they're part of like an ILM documentary somewhere or something. But these specific shots, I tried doing Google Images, Google image search, and I couldn't find those ones. All right, and then some really cool stuff here at the end. We've got a 8x10. It says 1997, Lucasfilm, all rights reserved. This is an official Anthony Daniels autograph image. And then a second one here, same thing. So I got two of those in here. And what's behind here, this is really special. The last thing that was in this, which totally blew my mind, is this right here. Look at this, guys. Now, same thing. I noticed this one was different. It's different from all the others in the bunch. The paper's different. It's just plain white on the back. But what got me was the copyright down here, 1977, Century Fox, all rights reserved, permission granted for newspaper and magazine reproduction. And this, Star Wars, presented by 20th Century Fox. This is an original press kit photo, guys. This is original press kit photo from 1977. Stuffed in here with all the home printouts and celebration stuff. This is just really cool. And it's Leia and Tarkin and Vader. I love the caption here, too. Governor Tarkin, Peter Cushing, interrogates Princess Leia, Carrie Fisher, with the help of the awesome Darth Vader. So there he is, awesome Darth Vader right there, guys. I'm sure some of you guys watching have seen this before or may own this already. I know there was a whole bunch of images that were released as part of the press kits. This is just one of them. But I don't have anything like this in my collection. This is unique to me. This is a first, and pretty excited. I love getting stuff from the original, early on in the movie making. And this was a great find inside this, just an assortment of other stuff. There are some indentations on the image, like it's scratched up a little bit, corners bent a little, so it's not in pristine condition, but it's pretty cool. It's pretty nice for being 48 years old now, or whatever it is. That's pretty awesome. So that was my big find inside here. So anyway, oh, I forgot, I got to show you one more thing. After I went through the artwork and I kind of found that stuff, I Googled a little bit more about this lithograph set from Doug Chiang, because I wanted to just first of all, I wanted to see if it had any value. And it does sell for like, I don't know, anywhere between around 40, 30, 40, 50 bucks or so. So it's not like a high-end thing. But anyway, I went on YouTube and I watched an unboxing video of this, and I was almost did a double take because I was watching when he opened it up, and it looked just like this, brand new. And in fact, in the unboxing video I watched, all the artwork was actually behind here. And that is the case for this one too. I was so excited. I was like, really? Let me take a look. And you kind of peel back this cardboard frame here, and guess what is back here? I gotta tilt it out so it'll come out. Look at that, guys. All 20 sheets of the artwork are here, as well as this like wax paper kind of insert. Let me flip it around here. So what I thought was an empty box is actually the full set of artwork. Isn't that great? Awesome. There's a little damaged corner here on the introduction sheet. But let's flip through these again. I've already shown you some of these, but look at this. Isn't that cool? It's like Commander Tarpals or whoever running away from the droid tank. Another shot of the Gungan army, the warriors lining up for the battle. The aerial battle there. I forget what the flying Gungan creatures were called. You get the Staps chasing them. This one, I love this shot. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that. Isn't that a beautiful shot? The N1 starfighters there. And then, yeah, we saw this one, the Gungan forces. Here's a cool one. This is Doug Chiang's interpretation of the scene that Lucas wanted, where Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan and I guess young Anakin and Jar Jar there come up to the Gungans there, look for help. So I mean, and they did the movie just like this scene practically. It's pretty cool. Got that one there. Shot of Coruscant, I showed you that already. Oh yeah, look at this one, guys. Darth Maul. This is so cool. Look at how menacing that face is, the painting there. Even the texture of the robes and everything, they copied that the ship, man, just really cool. We got some pod racing shots. There's Anakin's pod racer. We got a shot inside, towing the pod racer up to the event. View of the submarine and one of the giant creatures there. We saw this one, the Trade Federation marching into the city. Look at this, a beautiful landscape shot of Naboo with all the waterfalls. So cool. Battle droids, we saw that one. Here's a cool one, the droid army coming through the forest, and the Jar Jar there is pretty funny. So that design obviously changed a little bit. Same with the Jedi, outfits. The drop ship again. This one, this is cool. So I've got 2 of these. That's pretty neat. Then here's a shot of arriving at the Trade Federation command ship there for their aggressive negotiations. TC-14 bringing the drink tray in. Yeah, that's cool. And then this shot of the Queen Amidala's starship there. So look at that, man. All that artwork in here. It's just beautiful. I would say that this has aged well, given that here we are, 1990, 25 years later, and Doug Chiang is still creating, amazing worlds, for Lucasfilm with, I guess he did the Mandalorian, he did the Razor Crest, he did the, he did all the Galaxy's Edge too. Apparently he was involved with all the design there on the Galaxy's Edge theme parks too. But anyway, that's it, guys. Really cool stuff. Again, I think my favorite thing here is definitely the original press kit image. And then these 2 of Anthony Daniels are pretty cool. And I actually like these printouts from ILM, wherever, this was a slideshow or wherever you got these from. It's kind of cool seeing the actual models. Again, the sticky notes are my handwriting for now. If you guys are familiar with any of the other stuff in here that I've never seen before, please let me know in the comments, what it is and what's, if there's anything unique or special about it. I imagine some of this stuff's collectible. I mean, everything Star Wars is collectible, right? This was a lot of new stuff for me that I've never seen. I certainly don't have in my collection. So pretty cool pickup overall, especially for $10. Thanks again to Eric at the Emporium shop. Appreciate it. Pretty cool find. I had a lot of fun going through this stuff once I got home, and obviously making a video about it because I just wanted to share my excitement with you guys. This find took me down some rabbit holes I hadn't been down before, so pretty cool discovering what all this stuff was and some of the history behind it. Yeah, I guess I'll leave it there. There's always more to discover in Star Wars and always more stuff to collect. It is amazing how much stuff is out there that I have no idea about, and that's why I enjoy this hobby. And I enjoy making these videos for you guys to share kind of my excitement and the fun of the discovery with you guys. Until next time, may the Force be with you. Bye.